Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another tutorial. In today's video I'll be showing you guys how to draft a pattern for this asymmetric top with side gathering or ruching with long sleeves. If this sounds good to you and is something you're interested in, then please keep watching. And if you're just coming across my page for the first time, you're welcome. Please go ahead and click on the subscribe button. With that being said guys, let's just get right into this video. So the two things that we're going to be needing for drafting of this pattern are the front and back basic bodies. So you should have that already drafted before we can proceed with this drafting. So you can see that the front bodies is longer than the back bodies. I'm going to be explaining why that is in a moment. Now for the back bodies, you'll be having two pieces for that. Obviously after cutting in two through the zipper allowance, you'll be having two pieces for the back bodies while the front bodies is on fold, as you can see. Now I also came out half an inch at the waistline to avoid the zipper bulge, and then the length that I'm using for this top is going to be, I'm going to be stopping it at the hip line, which is about 26 inches from the shoulder line. So, and I came down 10 inches for the bust line, I came down 17 inches for the waistline, and then the rest is the hip line measurement. Now it's the same thing with the front pattern. As you can see, the only thing is that I extended from the hip line by 7 inches extra. Every other thing is the same except for this extension that I added from the hip line, which is about 7 inches. Then I'm going to be making use of that extension to draft this style that we are working with today. But every other thing is the same except this extension at the front bodies. I hope you understand. So moving to the back pattern, you can see that there is a dart at the back. Now if you don't want a dart for your pattern, it's totally fine, but I have a dart here for the back bodies and the length is going to be 12 inches. Now for the width of the neckline, I'm going to be using 3.5 inches by 2 inches for the width and depth of the neck for the back. Now as you can see, I already went ahead to place half of my shoulder measurement, and I also came down 1 inch for the shoulder slope, as you can see. And then I calculated my chest line, which is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Then you'll be able to get your chest line measurement. Then you rule that out. After you're done doing that, then you'll be able to place your bust circumference divided by 4 on your chest line, and then you'll be able to draw out your armhole just like I did here. So in order for me to avoid any zipper bulge at the back, I'm going to be coming in by half an inch on the waistline. As you can see, I'll just come in by half an inch, and then I'll be going out by half an inch at the other side of the zipper allowance, and then I'll connect from that half an inch to the upper part of the paper towards the neckline, and also connect downwards towards the hem line. So by doing this, I'm avoiding any kind of zipper bulge at the back. So I'll just connect, and then I will be adding half an inch at the outer part of that line to complete my zipper allowance. So you're going to be having a curved line like so. It's not going to be straight anymore. So that's that for the back pattern for now. So moving to the front pattern, the paper is on fold because we need to work on this on a full paper. So I'm going to be opening up that paper very soon. Now I just want you guys to see that everything has been done on this front pattern. The armhole has been drawn, the waistline, the hip line, everything has been drawn. For the width of the neckline for the front, I went with 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches for the width and depth, and then I connected it together. We are going to be modifying that neckline later on, and then that's the bust line, the waistline, the hip line, and also the extension we spoke about earlier. So we are going to be modifying that extension as well to suit what we want for this top. So now I'm just going to open up this paper so we can work on the full scale of the front bodies. So because we are not going to be making use of the other side of this pattern for the ruching or the gathering effect, I'm going to be transferring the dart at the other side onto this dart here. That's why I didn't draw anything at the other side there. So I have a dart intake of half an inch on both sides of this pattern. So therefore, I'm going to be adding the half an inch at the other side onto this dart here to make it 1 inch dart intake. Then I'll be opening up the dart here for the ruching or the gathering effects of this top. I hope you understand. So I'm just going to go ahead to add the half an inch from the other side. I'll transfer it to this side here. So I will have a 1/4 of an inch on both sides like so, which should equate to one half an inch, and then plus the half an inch here before, then we are going to be having 1 inch of that intake. Then I'll just go ahead and use my marker to connect. Then I came down 1 inch from the bust line for my dart, as you can see, and then I came down 5 inches from the waistline for the remaining darts for the lower part. So I'll just go ahead and use marker to connect these darts like so. So by doing this, we've already eliminated the dart at the other side, so we have just one dart for one side of the top. The next thing we want to do is to extend the dart line from the waistline. I will extend it using my ruler to the hemline like so. You can go ahead and use your pencil or marker to achieve this. So after extending it to the hemline like so, then you determine how long you want your extension to be for the other side of the top, the uneven part of the top. So at first I came down by 4 inches, then I decided to extend by 1 inch more to make it 5 inches total. So I'm just going to be marking 5 inches like so. Now this depends on what you want. Actually, it's not a fixed number. You can come down lower than that or shorter than that. It totally depends on how long or short you want this extension to be. So from that 5 inch mark, I'm just going to be extending it straight to the other side like so, at the hip area on the side seam. So I'll just go ahead and also use my marker to further highlight it. Now from the hip line, I'm going to be measuring up about 2.5 inches. That is where I want this slit to start from the hip line. So I'll go up by 2.5 inches. After I'm done doing that, I'll also go out by half an inch on the hip line as well. I'll come out, you can come out by 1 inch if you want the slit to be very wide, but I came out by half an inch, and then I also came up by 2.5 inches for the slits. So we are going to be opening up that area up until the armhole with the princess seam we are going to be drawing very soon here. So I'll just use my marker to highlight the 2.5 inches and also the half an inch, so I don't get confused when I cut this paper. Now I'm going to be moving over to the armhole, and I'm going to measure how low I want the princess seam to start from on the armhole before I cut it out. So I'm going to be coming down by 6 inches. You can choose any number you want or wherever you want the position of the princess seam to start from. So from that point, I'm just going to be connecting to the head of the dart like so, 1 inch below the bust point, and I'm going to be coming down by 3 inches from the armhole, as you can see. Now this will serve as where I want my ruching or gathering to stop. When I'm gathering from the hip line towards the upper part, I'm stopping at the 3 inch mark. I'm also going to be using marker to highlight this 3 inch mark so I don't get confused while I cut the paper. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to go over to the hip line. From the 2.5 inches mark that I have before, I'm going to be coming up by another 2 inches. Now you can do 3 inches or 1.5, totally depends on you. So this is where the gathering is going to be starting from. That 2 inch mark point is where the gathering will be starting from, and then I'll be stopping at the 3 inch mark at the armhole. I hope you understand. I'll also go ahead and use marker to indicate this point. Now I'll just go ahead and cut this. So I'll just be cutting through that part, as you can see for now. Then I'll cut the unwanted part away. Then I'll cut through the half an inch that I came out by for this slit, as you can see. Then I'll also be cutting through this extension. Now at the extension here, I'm going to be slanting my hand a little bit outwards, like 1 inch away, just to give it a slanted look, as you can see. Now moving on to the neckline, I'm going to be coming out by 1 inch on both sides of this shoulder to create a kind of a new shoulder look. Now if you don't want your neckline to be very wide, you can just boycott this process and leave your shoulder the way it is already here. But I came out by 1 inch on both sides because I want it to have a wide look. I hope you understand. Now from my new shoulder, I'm going to be coming down by 6 inches for the depth of the neckline. I'll come down 6 inches. I think 6 is quite okay. So I'm just going to connect these 2 points together using my pencil. Now from this point, I'm just going to draw a curved shape from this point to meet the new shoulder mark that I have. So you can just use your armhole curve or your neck curve or any curved ruler you have to achieve this look. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Now when you're satisfied with the shape of your neckline, you can go ahead and use your marker to further highlight it. So that's just what I'm doing here. Now on that part of the neckline to the armhole, I'm going to be drawing a straight line across to the armhole because there's going to be a joining around that part. So that's just that. Then I'm also going to be going to the eye shoulder point like so, and then I'll be coming down by a quarter of an inch because I want to avoid gaping at the neckline. But I think if you want to do yours, you can just come down by at least half an inch or 1 inch, especially if the material you're working with is very stretchy. So you would want to avoid a lot of gaping at the shoulder area. The next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and cut the rest of this paper out. One thing I'd like to add again is that if you are going to be using a very stretchy fabric for this design, then I would just recommend you not making the neck to be as wide as this because it's going to have a lot of gaping. So, and then for the shoulder area, like I said, you can come down by 1 inch at the eye shoulder point and then connect back to the edge of the armhole to avoid a lot of gaping because it's going to gape, especially if the material is stretchy. So I'm going to be deducting 1 inch from the shoulder of the back just like I did for the front neckline. So I'll be coming out by 1 inch from that point and then I'll connect back into the original neck depth or the zipper allowance like so. This way the shoulders can match when you're sewing them together. So I'll just go ahead and cut this pattern out. The next thing for us to do now is to start slashing through our pattern. Now I'm going to be indicating once more where the gathering is going to be starting and ending, just like we did previously. So from that point where it's going to be starting, I'm going to be marking my line across like so. Now you can have as much lines as possible, depends on what you want actually. So I'll just go ahead and draw a line across like so, and then on the final part where the gathering is going to be stopping at the 3-inch mark, I also went ahead to draw a line across. And after I'm done doing this, I'm just going to bring the other side of the pattern forward so we know where the gathering is stopping and ending. I already indicated that on the other side, as you can see. So that is going to be coming as a notch on the fabric. So you notch all these areas where the slit is starting from. So you go ahead and notch where the gathering is going to be starting and where it's going to be ending on the fabric. Now I'll just go ahead and slash through all these lines like so, and I will make sure that I do not slash all the way or cut through the paper. So just watch what I'm doing. Like I said, you can have as much lines to slash as you want. You can make it tiny or big, totally depends on your preference. After slashing through the paper, this is what we have. I'm just indicating where it's stopping at the 3-inch mark. So this is how you're going to be spreading this pattern on your fabric to achieve your ruching effect or gathering effect. So I'm just going to indicate where I'm going to be replacing that back on the front bodice like so, and then I'll just go ahead and finish up the back bodies by slashing through the zipper allowance. And you'll be having 2 pieces for the back bodies. And on this note guys, we've come to the end of the first part of this tutorial, which is the pattern drafting. I'll be uploading the sewing part of this tutorial very soon, so please guys keep it a date with me. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give me a giant thumbs up and also share this video to your friends. If you're also new to this channel, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and join the family, and also don't forget to turn on your notification bell to get notified of my latest uploads. So till I see you guys in my next one, bye.